Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women from all around the world, you are watching the Ramonepreston Show, and this is the day that the Lord has made. We're rejoicing and we are glad in it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you are coming on live, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know your boy Ramonepreston and my squad, we are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, May the 31st. Y'all listen, we getting ready to go into the second half of 2023, and my hope and expectation is that up until now, throughout this first half of the year, that you've at least put yourself in a mental position and hopefully in a physical or financial position to really end the next half of 2023 strong. So again, I want to say welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. I am your host, Ramonepreston, every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. I come here live to share information with you that I know you can use to properly start, structure, and scale any business, any ministry, any income stream. That's what we specialize in here at Ramonepreston Enterprises. Every day we show up here and we help people start, we help people structure, and we help people scale their businesses. And so on the show, Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon, I take about an hour to just give you information, principles, things that you could put to practice in your business, in your finances, in any area, in every area of your life. So I want to say welcome to the show. If you don't mind, could you put in the comments what city you're watching me from? What city are you watching me from? Please put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. Who are you representing today? What city you're representing? Just put it in the comments, all right? So again, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me today. I'm super excited about the discussion that we're going to have today. It's one of my top favorite topics, which is centered around the holding company. If you know me or if you've watched me long enough, you know I'm always talking about holding companies because I know the holding company is like one of the most sophisticated principles that you could put to practice as an entrepreneur in your business. So please put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. Shout out. I see you over here, Gerald. I see you, Mr. Birmingham. Good afternoon to you, my man. Good to see you on today. And appreciate all of you for joining the show, okay? So today we're going to be talking about the top three roles inside a holding company. That's what I'm going to be talking to you about today. The top three roles inside of a holding company, all right? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Now listen. I'm not going to go into this whole discourse about holding companies, but what I will say is this. Most of the major companies in the world, most of the biggest companies on the planet, any company that you can think about on the planet, most likely that company is a holding company. All right. It's a parent company. It's an umbrella company. And that company probably has hundreds, the biggest companies in the world, they have hundreds, if not thousands of divisions and subsidiaries under it, okay? So one of the reasons why I talk a lot about the holding company and I teach this concept to as many people as I can is because as a struggling entrepreneur, when I first got started, I didn't have a whole lot of resources. I didn't have a whole lot of working capital. I didn't have a lot of credit. I didn't have a whole lot to work with, so I had to create an infrastructure that at least gave me some flexibility, some freedom, some wiggle room to really get some momentum so that I could start making money and so that I could start getting the opportunities that I needed. And so because my wife and I, we started out in real estate, we learned quickly that a lot of the investors that we were working with, a lot of the groups of investors that we came into contact with, a lot of them were using holding companies to create these what we now know today as syndications, and some of them had like crowd funds. We didn't know it at the time because we wasn't really into a lot of the investment side of the real estate. We were just either agents or just, foot soldiers, just doing what we need to do to get our little commission or get our cut from the deal. But over time, I realized that the biggest companies in the world, not just in real estate, but just in business in general, the biggest companies in the world, they used holding companies in order to parlay, all right, and to flex and to really leverage other business opportunities. And so this is one of the reasons why I talk so much about the holding company, because I realized as a entrepreneur, just someone who's just scrapping, trying to make enough money to live another day, I realized that this was a concept that I didn't have to wait to use and to implement when I got big. This was a concept that I could use even as a solopreneur. And so with that being said, I'm not going into all the details about starting and structuring a holding company. I just want to talk about the top 3 roles inside of a holding company. So let's just assume you know enough about holding companies, all right? Let's say that you know a holding company is a parent company, all right? It's an umbrella company. It's your legacy company. It's your main company that you're using to hold other assets, whether it's businesses, trademarks, or whatever the investments and assets are. You know the basics of a holding company, all right? Well, one of the biggest challenges that a lot of people have who start holding companies, and this is one of the biggest questions I get from people who are either interested in starting a holding company or who have started it, is what is my role? This is a big question for a lot of people. Like, what is my role in a holding company? Like, what am I supposed to do? All right. It's easy if you start like a landscaping company, right? If you start a landscaping company, okay, you get an LLC, you start cutting grass. Or if you got a shoe shining business, you start an LLC and you start shining shoes, right? Or if you paint or do construction, or if you got a trucking business, it's easy when your business is an operating business to know how to form an LLC, put whatever the thing is that you're doing in the LLC and start doing business. Well, when you start a holding company, right here, when you start a holding company, a lot of times you don't know, what am I supposed to do in my holding company? Or in other words, what is my role? And so I want to share with you the top 3 roles inside of a holding company. All right. These are the top 3 roles that you should be thinking about, like practicing if you have a holding company or if you plan on starting a holding company. All right. So let me give them to you real quick. The first role is the role of the CEO. All right. I'm going to share some information with you about each one. OK, the role of the CEO. That's one of the top 3 roles inside of a holding company. Number 2 is the asset manager. That's another role inside of a holding company. All right. And number 3, I'm going to shorten it, but I'm going to give some explanation to it. I'm going to put consultant or expert. Those are the top 3 roles inside of a holding company. Now, each of these roles, you know, they have a lot of value, and they will determine like how much you do inside of your holding company. They will have a lot to do to determine how much leverage you create with your holding company, no matter how many divisions and subsidiaries you have. All right. So if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. The top 3 roles inside of a holding company, you're hearing it from me, are number 1, the CEO. That's the top number 1 role. Number 2, asset manager. And number 3, the consultant or the expert. All right. I want you to get those. And then I'm going to share a little information with you about each of the 3. I see you over here, God's Infinite Son. He says, my holding company is about to buy a business. Congratulations to you, man. That's awesome. I love to hear that. That's exactly what we should all be doing right now. We should all be participating in acquisitions. Okay, so if you're taking notes, I want you to write those top 3 roles down. Excuse me. So if you have a holding company, or if you plan on starting a holding company, all right, it's easy for you to understand your role in an operating company, a company that sells a product or provides a service. It's not always easy. It's not always easy for you to understand what your role or what your roles should be when you have a holding company that owns operating companies. All right. I'm giving you what the top 3 roles are, and you should learn to become very, very good at these 3 roles. Number 1, the CEO. Number 2, the asset manager. And number 3, the consultant or the expert. Okay. So let's look at each of these 3. All right. Let's take a moment and look at, let's look at the CEO real quick. Okay. Let's take a look at the CEO. I know most of you know what a CEO is. Okay. A CEO is a chief executive officer. That's what a CEO is, chief executive officer. But I want to help you understand some of the responsibilities, if you will, that come under the role of the CEO, which, by the way, one of the training courses that I have and one of the workshops that I do, I teach about the 5 R's for each role or each team member in your company, including you as the CEO and anybody else that you ever hire. I teach about the 5 R's, okay? And so the first R is the role, and the second R is the responsibility. So I want to just share with you a little bit of the responsibilities under the role of the CEO, because this is one of the top 3 roles you should be operating by inside of your holding company. So as a CEO of a holding company, your primary role is to provide executive oversight. So I'm just kind of giving you some key words. Oversight. Okay? Your primary role is to provide support. Your primary role is also to set risk management parameters. Okay? Risk management parameters. All right? Your primary role is to set innovation, to cast vision, to consolidate all operations, and to put the right people in the right places to align with the corporate strategy. All right, it's a lot inside of this. I'm just trying to give you a few key words to help you understand like what your role as the CEO of a holding company needs to be. Okay, so again, we got oversight. You're providing corporate oversight, right? Executive oversight. You're providing support. Where are you providing support to? Where you're not just providing support inside of the activities of the holding company, but you got to provide support to anything that's going on in your divisions or in your subsidiaries. So, for example, let me just give you an example. If your holding company, let's say, for example, if you're here and this is your holding company, and let's just say your holding company has a couple divisions, and let's say your holding company has a couple subsidiaries, right? You can have a real estate company. I don't know. You got a trucking company. It could be any types of subsidiaries. It could be a subsidiary you have with just an online store. It could be a store. It could be a restaurant. It could be anything. Well, your role as the CEO of the holding company is to provide executive oversight and support, not just to this ecosystem, but you're providing this executive oversight and support to the real estate company or to whoever's working in that company, to the trucking company or whatever the subsidiaries are that you have in it. So see, this is one of the reasons why when you start learning the principles and the concepts and practices around starting and structuring and really running a holding company or an enterprise, a business conglomerate, you got to start thinking out the box. You can't be thinking just in terms of a laborer. You can't think like a laborer, all right? You can't think like a business operator. This is why a lot of small businesses stay small, because most entrepreneurs, when they start a business, they never think about a holding company. Most entrepreneurs, I know this to be so, because this is primarily who I work with, are entrepreneurs. Most entrepreneurs, they ain't thinking about no holding company when they're thinking about a business. Most entrepreneurs, when they think about starting a business, all they thinking about is starting the business that they think they good at. So if you good at cutting grass, you just thinking about starting a landscaping company. If you good at painting, or if you good at construction, or if you good at shining shoes, or if you good at, whatever you good at, most entrepreneurs, all they think about is starting a business around the thing they good at, which means you are setting yourself up. I hope you understand what I'm saying. When you do that, you're setting yourself up not to be a CEO. That ain't what you're setting yourself up for. Most of the times, entrepreneurs are setting themselves up to be laborers. Maybe operators. But most of them never set themselves up to be CEOs. So what that means is you become imprisoned by your business, because now you just stuck either laboring or at best operating a business that you can never work on. You're always stuck working in it. So it goes back to my point earlier. This is one of the reasons why I put so much emphasis on you starting a holding company, even if or when you have a legitimate operating company. The fact that you structure it that way, it by default, it like automatically frees you up to start thinking like a CEO. Okay? So for example, let me show you. If you're following me and tracking me, we're still on just one of the top 3 roles inside of a holding company. We're talking about the CEO. So let's just say, for example, if you got an operating business, right? You got a product you want to sell, or you got a service you want to provide, or maybe you got both. It's one of the two, if not both. Anytime you start a business, you're either selling a product or providing a service or doing both. I mean, what else is you doing if you're starting a business, right? So most entrepreneurs, what they do is they come up with this idea. They get this bright idea. And it's like, wow. And we all did it. I've done it a couple times. When I first got started as an entrepreneur, I didn't know everything about holding companies and subsidiaries and asset management and being a CEO. I was just a hustler. I was a go-getter, a grinder, and I knew I could figure out how to get out here and make something happen. And that's what I did. I just went right out into the marketplace and said, you know what? I got some ideas. I didn't have products. I had a couple services that I knew I could provide. I was good with my hands. I knew my way around the house. My wife had a real estate license. We came together as a 2-person team, and we just went out there and did the doggone thing. That's what we did. We woke up every day and we just scrapped it out, okay? Well, because you are more informed than I was 20 years ago, we talking about in 2003 when I first started my entrepreneurial journey, me and my wife, we 20 years in. You have more information, you have a better strategy and more resources to be able to start out or at least do it right this time, even if this is not the first time, okay? So most entrepreneurs, When they have an idea to start a business, they're thinking about the product that they want to sell. They think about the service that they want to provide. And what they do is they just build a business around it. So they create the LLC, and then they go out there to the marketplace and they trying to sell the product and the service. Am I correct? That's what most entrepreneurs do. The problem with that is, number one, the way you have this structured, you really never stand at the top of this as a CEO. Even though on your business cards it says CEO. Everybody got that on their business cards. I am the founder and the CEO, but you're really not the CEO if it comes to the role. So let me read it again. As a CEO of a holding company, your primary role is to provide executive oversight, to provide support, to set risk management parameters, to innovate, to cast vision, to consolidate all your business operations, and to put the right people in the right places to align with the corporate strategy. How many people that you know own businesses that are doing what I just mentioned? How many people do you know that own businesses that are doing exactly that? Very few people, if you're telling the truth. Very few people that you know got LLCs that are waking up every day, providing executive oversight to an organization, setting risk management parameters, casting vision, consolidating all operations, putting the right people in the right places to align with the corporate strategy. You know why most of them are not doing that? Because they're not really business owners. They think that they're business owners. They're just entrepreneurs with a good idea like a LLC on paper. But if you're going to grow, if you're going to get successful, if you're going to do something of value, you got to get out of that mode, because all you're doing is setting yourself up to be, at best, a business operator or a business laborer. That's all most people doing. Most people who start LLCs and they got a product that they want to sell or a service that they want to provide, or both, they never operate as CEOs. They at best operate as operators, meaning that you wake up every day and you just operating your business. You just running your business. You working in your business. You trying to figure out how to make money. We've all been through this, okay? Most entrepreneurs don't even work as operators. They're laborers, meaning that you got to actually do the work. You got to cut the grass. You got to paint the walls. You got to put the carpet down. You got to drive the truck. Am I right? So we got to get you out of just being a laborer. We got to get you out of being an operator. Okay? We got to take you back to what I just mentioned. We got to take you back to becoming a real CEO, a real asset manager, a real consultant and expert. But you're not going to become that. You're not going to become that if you don't create the right structure. Okay? So instead of you doing this, that's why I say, do this. Still do your LLC, but do this one as a holding company. And then whatever the company is that you want to sell a product or provide a service in, create that LLC and put that LLC under your holding company LLC. Now, just even though I'm not the best artist, but don't you see how better that looks and how it automatically elevates you and repositions you? Now, it provides more leverage for you, but it also creates more problems, because now you got 2 entities that you got to keep paperwork on. You got 2 entities that you got to have bank accounts. 2 entities with EINs. 2 entities with a QuickBooks account. But it's better to figure this out than to not do it and to not have this and just have this, because most likely you're going to stay stuck as a laborer, at best an operator, but most likely you never become a CEO, you never become an asset manager, and most likely you never become a real expert. And I'm telling you, if you gonna make money and be successful, especially in today's world, you got to figure out how you can become these three, not how you can become a better business operator or how you can become a better laborer. Because this is not what's going to get you rich. This is not what's going to make you a millionaire. It's not as an entrepreneur. I tried that. This is not going to give you financial freedom as an entrepreneur. If you are an entrepreneur and you watching me and listening to me, if you're an entrepreneur and you own a business or you want to own a business, listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Being a better operator, being a better laborer is not going to get you financial freedom through your business. It's not going to make you a millionaire. It's not going to create success. What's going to give you all of that is becoming this: a better CEO, a better asset manager, and a better expert, and learning how to package these three things inside of a parent company that owns the company that you sell the products from, or that owns the company that you provide the service in. Do you understand what I'm saying? So again, we go back to, if you're taking notes or you just coming on, I'm talking about the top three roles inside a holding company. Number one was the CEO. Number two is the asset manager. The asset manager. So let's take a look at the asset manager. I think I explained the CEO. And so again, the way you become better as the CEO is, number one, having your structure set up the right way, okay? And separating the operating business from the parent company. That automatically positions you in a role of a CEO, okay? Mentally, it separates you because now you have two separate entities and you understand it. So you see it as clear, okay? Number two, becoming an asset manager. And this is even harder because the reason why I say becoming an asset manager is even harder is because when you ain't really making no money in your business, or you really don't have staff and employees, and you ain't really got no business operation going on, you really don't feel like you have any assets. But you have to separate these roles and the activities under these roles in a way that you start carving out what the assets will become over time as you keep executing your day-to-day roles, if that makes sense, okay? So what should you be doing as an asset manager? Well, as an asset manager, the main thing that you're doing is you're not just setting risk management parameters, but you're actually managing the day-to-day activities of all the things that make up not just your parent company, but all the things that make up your divisions and your subsidiaries. So if you're understanding what I'm saying so far, make sure that you put something in the comments for everybody else that's watching. Seaport Industry says, "Thank you for the hard truth. I understand what you are saying." I appreciate that. Mr. Coffee Man, he says, "Yes, I'm breaking the old mindset." So if you're understanding what I'm saying so far, please put something in the comments to let me know that you feel your boy. Like, hey, I'm with you on this one. I understand exactly what you're saying. It's making sense to me. And I get what I'm supposed to do, okay? So being an asset manager is being the not just the CEO, but being the individual who understands how to take all the operations or all the activities inside your holding company and under your holding company. knowing how to take those things and how to manage them in a way that you can increase their value. So let me give you a couple examples of what you should be thinking about doing as an asset manager, okay? So as an asset manager, let's just say you're here, you got your holding company, you got a couple divisions inside of your holding company, and then you have some subsidiaries under your holding company. One of the most important things you should be doing if you're thinking not just as a CEO, but you're thinking as an asset manager, one of the most important things you should be doing is you should be identifying. I just talked about this in one of my recent workshops. You should be thinking about, how can I identify with things that have value that I can integrate into this business, into these divisions, into these subsidiaries that can ultimately increase the enterprise value of my organization. This is what an asset manager does. So you should be thinking about, okay, not just the business that's selling a product or the business that's providing a service, but I should be thinking about, how many activities am I participating in every day that make up assets that I could use to increase my value? Like, okay, I need to identify with any intellectual property. So that's IP. We call it IP. I need to identify with intellectual property. Do I have things that are intellectual that I can take and can convert into products or services, physical or digital, that can either monetize immediately or over the course of time increase the enterprise value of my organization, if that makes sense. So I need to start identifying with assets. Now, I cover a whole lot of assets like I did the other week in my workshop, but intellectual property, that's an asset. One of our viewers today mentioned that they were getting ready to purchase a business under their holding company. Well, guess what? Acquisitions are assets to your holding company, because if you can find a business that you can actually purchase, or a partnership that you can get into, it may be somebody else doing business that you can partner with, and now you can create a partnership. So as an asset manager of a holding company that happens to have divisions and other subsidiaries, not only are you thinking like a CEO, because that's one of your top 3 roles, but you're thinking like an asset manager. Well, if you're thinking like an asset manager, you got to be thinking about what? Assets. You got to be thinking about, what are the things that I have at my disposal? That's one of the reasons why I cover about 30 different assets in that asset management course, because you got to start thinking about trademarks, intellectual property, copyrights, curriculum, licenses, contracts, real estate, any tangible or intangible things that you have that have value. You got to be thinking about this whole list of things that you can take and integrate into this business that you either monetize immediately, meaning that you can start selling them today and making money off of them, and or integrate into your business. And while you hold them, you create enough momentum, you create enough activity so that even while you're working on monetizing and making money from them, you start increasing the overall value of your enterprise. This is very, very critical, y'all. So I'm not trying to go too deep on the asset management, other than just to show you that being an asset manager is one of the top 3 roles inside of a holding company. And I think I've explained it enough for you to see, man, if I'm thinking like a CEO and an asset manager, I ain't even really got time to be thinking about being a laborer and an operator. Because now the next problem is, I got to start hiring people. I got to start using systems and platforms and technology and creating processes so that I'm not stuck trying to be the operator and the laborer when I need to be focused on being a CEO and an asset manager. Am I making sense? I'm giving you the game today. Like, if you plan on being successful in business, especially in today's world, you got to do more than just labor. You got to do more than just labor. I know a whole lot of people that work harder than anybody else on the planet. And let me tell you something. Just because they work hard don't mean they got money. Just because they work hard don't mean their business is booming. It don't work like that. I know a lot of people who own businesses. They self-employed. They do their own thing. If you call them to do something, they the one showing up. They the one processing the payments. They the one doing everything. And guess what? They work hard. But that don't mean they successful in business. But then you got other people who they have business systems set up. They got processes. They have an infrastructure. They operate as CEOs. They come off as asset managers because they've diversified their activities and operations into different verticals. And even if they show up initially, they probably don't stay there because they got other people operating and laboring to run the business. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how you get to that next level. That's how you become successful. And that's how you start accelerating your growth, expanding, and going to places that, are rewarding for you as an entrepreneur. Okay, so the third role inside a holding company is a consultant, an expert. I always tell my students and my clients that you need to reposition yourself as a consultant and as an expert. So I always give as an example, if you Joe the plumber, right? Okay, Joe the plumber can go out there and create Joe's Plumbing. I always give this example, Joe's Plumbing. Okay, so we got Joe's Plumbing LLC. So Joe can go out there in the marketplace and sell his plumbing service. But how many of y'all see one of the problems with this? If Joe got Joe's Plumbing and Joe is out there plumbing. Well, Joe is just an operator. And I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with this. I ain't saying there's something wrong with this. What I'm saying is Joe needs more information. Joe needs to get more educated. Joe needs to get exposed to new strategies so that Joe can realize even if he has to start out as an operator or a laborer, he don't have to stay there, even if you start there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I mentioned earlier, I'm not trying to belittle people. I'm showing you 20 years ago when me and my wife started as a two-person team, that's how we operated. We were laborers. We were the one that did everything. And it's a lot of things I still do, but it's not like I do them because I have to do them at this point, because I built a business enterprise. I built a infrastructure. I have people, I got systems, I got processes. So some of the things that I do, I might be doing because I want to do, because I might not be ready to either give them up or duplicate what's being done in that area just yet until I've created enough momentum for it. All right, so it's a difference. But nevertheless, I had to start somewhere. So even if Joe has to start here as a laborer, Joe don't want to stay there. And if you listen to what I'm saying and you're just getting started, or you're looking at a new way to reset your business, then Joe's Plumbing, let's say, for example, okay, he can go out there and sell his plumbing service. But if Joe gets educated about what we're talking about in terms of having a holding company, assuming the role of a CEO and an asset manager, and a consultant, that's the third role, Joe is not going to keep going out there as Joe's Plumbing. Joe is going to come up here and Joe is going to create, let's say, Joe's Enterprises. I'm just giving you an example. So Joe may create a holding company called Joe's Enterprises, and instead of Joe keep going out into the marketplace as Joe the plumber, Joe's enterprises may provide consulting services in the plumbing industry, and now he could go into the marketplace not as Joe the plumber, but maybe Joe the plumbing consultant, someone who provides top level services of consulting and education and resources in the plumbing industry, but he happens to own a plumbing company. So just doing this alone, it takes these top 3 roles and it elevates you. It elevates your business. It elevates your subsidiaries. It elevates the value of your enterprise. And this is how you put yourself in a position to build $1 million business. All right. So hopefully you learned something today on the show. And I love talking about holding companies. I love sharing information with people about holding companies. I was on a call. I had an appointment with someone this morning, and while I was on the call talking to the gentleman, he was telling me that he purchased one of our holding company offers from like a month or so ago. He came to one of our workshops. He went through the online course that he had access to. And he said just a few weeks ago, he started his entity. He got his LLC set up. He's working on creating his holding company and putting his enterprise together. And we were talking about some of these same things. And he was just telling me, you know, what he wants to do for his family and for his legacy. He can't get stuck focusing on laboring and just operating a business. He has to elevate that. And I was sharing a little bit of this with him this morning that, bro, you got to become a CEO. And not just a CEO of an operating business, but a CEO of a conglomerate. You have to start thinking about innovation and casting vision and creating opportunities for other people using business systems, right? You got to start thinking about asset management. You have to start thinking about all the things that you have at your disposal that can become assets to your business and how to integrate them into your business. You got to start thinking about how to become an expert and a consultant in the space that you might be a laborer in today, but you should elevate yourself to become an expert in for tomorrow. And all of you that are listening to me and watching me, if you are a laborer in a certain area, or if you are operating in a certain industry, you can reposition yourself and become an expert in the thing that you labor in, the thing that you operate in, the industry, the space, the market, the vertical. It's just a matter of you getting the right information and educating yourself. So I'm a mentor, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, I'm an educator. I'm that at heart. I mean, I'm a preacher. So, you know, that's what we do anyway in ministry. But in business, I do the same thing when it comes to showing people and helping people, because I know at some point, if you're going to elevate your business, if you're going to elevate your game, if you're going to elevate what you are doing as a laborer to a CEO, an asset manager, and a consultant, how are you going to do it if you ain't got no information? How are you going to do it? You got to get the right information. So I would love to get some feedback from you. Please put in the comments like what your biggest takeaway was from today's show on the top 3 roles inside of a holding company. And let me know what you need to work on. I would love to hear from you. I would love for you to reach out to me and let me know like what are the things that you really need to work on, or what areas do you feel like you need information in? Do you need information in becoming a better CEO? Do you need to learn more about the structure side of the CEO, the system and the process side? Do you need to learn more about asset management? That's a specific area. Do you need to learn how to develop the mentality of an asset manager? And maybe you need to learn how to identify with assets that you might have, but you don't see them as assets because you've never really learned to identify with them. It's kind of like a car. Have you ever had that experience where you bought a car and it wasn't until you bought the car or you rented the car that you start seeing that car everywhere? because you wasn't aware of it until you got it. So once you get it, you become aware of it. And everywhere you go and everything you start doing, you see it from a different perspective. Maybe you want to become a consultant. Maybe you want to start a coaching business. Maybe you feel like there's something God putting you to be an educator, to be a trainer, a teacher, a coach, a mentor. Well, this is something that is learned. These are all skill sets that you can learn. It's not something that's just going to come. You ain't going to just wake up one day and magically become an amazing CEO, an amazing asset manager, an amazing business consultant. It don't work like that. And so I want to give you an offer that I believe if you are ready, that it can help you. And each of these 3 areas that I talked about, I have courses that I teach on becoming a CEO, on running the day-to-day operations of your business as a CEO. I teach about the top corporate systems, the roles within those systems. I have courses on asset management, how to increase your net worth. I even have an entire course and program on becoming a coach, how to build a 6 to 7 figure coaching and consulting business. And so all of this education, all of this training, all of this mentorship, not just for those 3 roles that I just talked about, for many other things, all of these resources are inside of my Millionaire Mentorship program. So if you're interested in becoming a part of a coaching program with someone that you know understands business, and someone who has proven that they can build a successful business, that's why I'm so vocal and open about what I've accomplished, because I want people to not only trust what we offer in our education and in our coaching, but I want people to see it. So it's not about bragging or just boasting and flexing. It's really about demonstrating to you as a viewer, demonstrating to you as a potential client or student that we know what we're doing and we have the proof to show that what we're doing actually works. So I want you to at least consider becoming a member of our Millionaire Mentorship program. It's a 1-year accelerated coaching and consulting program where we've taken the most important components that we offer in our business and we've packaged them in the form of a 1-year coaching and consulting mentorship program. It's called the Millionaire Mentorship Program. This 1-year program includes 1-year access to our Millionaire Blueprint, which is the signature program for all of our courses, all of the content that we teach, from holding companies, creative tax strategies, real estate investing, goal setting, corporate systems, asset management, coaching and consulting. We have courses inside of this Millionaire Blueprint. So as a member of our mentorship program, we give you 1 year unlimited access to our Millionaire Blueprint. You also get access to our private weekly coaching calls every Monday at 7:00 p.m. Eastern. We host a live Zoom coaching call. We do a training on that call and we do a Q&A. So you always get at least one day a week that you can drop in live, interact with us and other entrepreneurs and business owners, get some information, training, get questions answered. It's really beneficial. We also give you a VIP ticket to one of our HQ days. This is a concept that I adopted from my mentor, and it gives you an opportunity to join us in person for a headquarter day. You come to our headquarters and we show you under the hood of our company, what we do, how we run our company, and we give you an opportunity to answer questions and get any information you need to see how we built a 7-figure company and how we're continuing to build it and expand it. We want to give you access to that. This Millionaire Mentorship Program also comes with VIP tickets to our sales workshop. We have a marketing workshop, a financial workshop, and a holding company workshop. So you get VIP tickets to join me either in person or virtually for all of these events. We show you how to put a sales system and a sales process together. We cover scripts, we cover CRMs in our marketing, we cover promotion, we cover branding, we cover messaging, we cover how to create a perfect client profile. We have a financial workshop where we cover creative tax strategies, financial literacy. We cover basic business accounting. We even talk about QuickBooks, and we have courses inside of the Blueprint that tracks all of these workshops that we do. Of course, we have a holding company workshop showing you how to file and form your paperwork, how to start and structure it. We also give you 2 VIP tickets to 2 other events. We have a coaching boot camp. So this is an online course and a one-day training where we show you how to build a 6-figure coaching business because we've done it. So I'm teaching you the same systems and processes that I've used to build my coaching and consulting business. So we give you a VIP ticket to our coaching boot camp and a VIP ticket to our business incubator, which is a training and an online course showing you how to create a general operating system. Like a general operating system is really a way for you to synchronize all of your business activities so you can track everything everybody's doing in your company. When you start hiring people and bringing on virtual assistants and working with vendors, you have to have some type of general operating system so that you don't feel like you all over the place. So if you're an entrepreneur and you feel like you all over the place, it's because you don't have a general operating system, okay? So we give you a VIP ticket to the business incubator and you get access to our online community and access to our Millionaire concierge. So all of this is a part of our Millionaire Mentorship program. And as you see, we provide 2 options. We have a gold option, which is $147 a month. I mean, come on, you paying $147 a month for our gold membership or $247 a month for our diamond membership. The only difference between the two is with our gold membership, you choose 2 of these 6 one-day events. With our diamond membership, you get all 6. So each of these memberships, you get the Millionaire Blueprint, weekly calls, HQ Day, you get our Millionaire Concierge, our online community. But with the gold, you can choose 2 of these 6 one-day events. With the diamond, you get all 6. So it's really just dependent on how much training do you want to have access to in that year, okay? Both of them are very beneficial. We have gold members who just want 2 because they say, you know what, I might just want sales or I want the coaching. And then we have diamond members who say, I want everything you got. I want to learn all the ins and outs of business. I want to give myself a year so that when I get to the end of this coaching program, I can feel good about what I've created and the results that I've gotten, okay? So $147 a month, $247 a month. If you need more information or you just have a few more questions, I know I can't share everything with you. This is a show and I'm just giving you my spiel of what our main mentorship program is. But all you have to do is text the word mentor to 678-276-8253. So I want you to take that number down. If you text me right now, we'll reach back out to you. All you have to do is text mentor to 678-276-8253. Okay? And we'll reach back out to you and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. We can share more information with you about what these workshops and what the courses and what all the benefits are. But if you know you want to build a legitimate business, you want to become a better CEO, an asset manager, you want to learn how to consult and structure your enterprise in a way that you can increase its value, everything that we offer in this program shows you how to do it. The online courses, the weekly calls, and all the workshops, there is no way you can participate in all of that within a year and you're not further along. And the cost is very low compared to the value that we provide. I mean, for $147, you could pay $147 today and literally get access to our online course, join us for our next coaching call, and choose 2 workshops, which we have a workshop coming up in a couple weeks. Or you can pay $247 and get access to everything, and you can start scheduling whether you're going to join us in person or virtual, okay? Someone had a question on IG. What's the cost for package? I think you're saying the cost. I think that's what you're asking. What's the cost? The cost is $147 a month for our gold membership and $247 a month for our diamond membership. And again, you just total the cost up. This is less than $2,000 for a year of coaching, This is less than $3,000 for a year, and you're getting unlimited access for a year to my Millionaire Blueprint, which if you reach out to me today, I can show you, we can schedule an appointment. We can walk you through maybe a 5 to 10 minute demo of all the courses in our program. And we can show you exactly what you need. All you have to do is tell us, hey, this is what I need. I need help with my sales. I need help with my marketing, or I need help with my holding company, or I'm trying to start this business and I don't know how to structure it, or I need help with certain systems. We can take you to the course that we have on that thing, and we can show you what workshop you would need to polish up whatever you're getting educated on. That's why we created this program, to not only give you the educational piece, but to give you the workshop, the training, so that we can help fine tune and polish up whatever it is that you're getting educated on. And then the weekly calls are accountability opportunities for you to drop in once a week, get questions answered, interact with other members, and get training on a regular basis so that you can create consistency for that year. So we look forward to hearing from you, and definitely look forward to working with you, and be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. So just text mentor to 678-276-8253. One of the reasons why I always ask for you to text a certain word like mentor to this number is because you're letting me know that you heard me on a certain platform or watched a certain program, and you're interested in getting more information or getting some answers for a specific topic that we were talking about. So I appreciate you reaching out to me today so that we can get your questions answered. So appreciate you all. Thank you so much. IG, appreciate you all. Everyone that's watching, please be sure to share this information with your family, your friends, your colleagues, people you know who are entrepreneurs. It's crazy out here in the marketplace, all right? There's a lot of stuff going on economically, and we need to educate ourselves. We need to empower ourselves. We need to get in communities with people who are already elevating and operating at a certain level so that we can get that pull to get to our next level. Because right now, industries are being disrupted. The digitization of technological platforms are, disrupting not just industries, but disrupting the workplace. People are struggling financially. We're feeling the pressure of the recession and the contraction in the market. But guess what? There are still studies that show the number of millionaires are going to double in the next 3 years. There are still studies that show that as the baby boomer generation retires and leaves the workforce and leaves the marketplace, there's going to be a great wealth transfer. It is estimated that tens of trillions of dollars will be transferred to this current active generation of entrepreneurs and business professionals and people who are in the marketplace. Well, how is that transfer going to take place? A lot of it is going to happen through business systems. So if you can learn the principles and the concepts like what we're talking about, being a CEO, being an asset manager, being an expert in your space, and taking the thing that you're good at in your labor and becoming a expert in that and packaging it the right way, and being in a community like our community where you can get the information, you can learn, you can have the support, it's going to help set you up for participating in that transfer. And trust me, even though I'm selling my program, trust me, within a 2 to 3 year window, when we are on the other side of what we're experiencing right now, you'll think back or look back or come back to this video and say, dog, man, this dude was saying that. I mean, man, I should have listened to him. I go through this all the time. I got people that when I started really moving heavily in my coaching and my education, like I have for the last 4 years, when I started really leaning into it, I was telling people this privately. even before I launched my online school, before I really went, like full throttle with public coaching, because there was a time I wasn't even coaching. My wife and I were consulting, but we really wasn't coaching individuals and entrepreneurs. We were consulting people, but it was a different level of consulting. But I was telling people privately, hey, this is what I feel like is happening. And I wasn't just talking to them as a prophet. I was talking to them as a entrepreneur who saw the writing on the wall, because I was educating myself, I was exposing myself, and I was getting in different rooms, and I was realizing that, oh, wow, there's getting ready to be a shift. And I was telling people personally, privately, and a lot of people didn't listen to me. They just thought, oh, he's just trying to sell something. All right, well, of course I'm trying to sell something, but me selling something shouldn't prevent you from listening to what I'm saying and getting in on it. There's always going to be a price to pay. And I promise you now, whatever it was that I was selling 4 years ago, or whatever it is that I'm selling now, it doesn't even pale in comparison to what you can lose or never see if you don't change what's coming in here and get consistent with it. All right? Because you're not going to Google your way to success. Very few people have done that. So you might hear somebody every once in a while come around and say, oh yeah, I went to YouTube University and I made it. Or I just Googled my way to the top. Very few people do that compared to the people who do it and never go nowhere. If you put those two people together, how many people who just Googled and YouTubed and followed influencers and social media, gurus, if you put them against the people who came into a community, found a mentor and a coach, and really educated themselves to get better at that, it doesn't even compare. All right. So, hey, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. And I hope you learned something today on the top 3 roles inside of a holding company. That was a good discussion today. All right. So love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Remember, I'll be back right here. Same place, same time tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon Eastern on the Ramonepreston